Prepare to have your ears tortured. It's From the Front Row with Johnathan T. Rokford.
What's up, you fucking idiots? My dudes, my dudettes, my doodlebugs. Once again, it's me, Melvin P. Thurgood III, bringing you results from last week's competition after a super mega week of competition. We had the game changer champion, First Lady Alexa Leslie, in action as she defended her title against, well, she went on goon hunting. Yeah, she wanted to hunt down goons, which they're not that hard to find. Just look for all the losers. But she started off with Money MF and Mike. She beat him, and then she went after Brathel, and she beat him, and now she's locked in battle with the sponsored athlete, Jay the Masters. And we'll see how that goes. I will say he is kind of hard to beat, though. I'll give him this flowers on that one. But other than that, though, we started our night off with a triple threat match for no reason other than they couldn't find any other people to go against this guy. So we had Draven and Casper, who was supposed to be taking on the Emperor Toucan Anomaly, but of course he didn't show up. So the triple threat match became a one-on-one match, and Draven won. And I told you, goons are losers. Casper, too. He might not have been there. It's like he ghosted Draven, which I'm pretty sure he's used to. Now, our second match of the night saw the returning Blueprint, Jackson Aries, taking on Quanny Fist, the man nobody wants to be pinned by. I don't know if it's because he stinks and they can't take his body odor, or because he takes great pleasure in covering people. But that match went to a time limit draw after the two kept fighting to sweaty drawers. They were sweating so much. They need to go take a shower. Now, the third match was Shepherd Bane taking on the number one contender to the world title, Johnny Rocco. I can't stand that guy. And Johnny Rocco proved why he earned a shot for the world title as he defeated Shepherd Bane in a somewhat dominating fashion and then sat in Misfit Row. That guy in that front seat, I tell you, don't sit in his seat. Never do that. I remember some other guy sat in his seat one time. We haven't seen him since. Now, Nergahante versus the Super Champion King was our fourth match, and the Super Champion King was able to pick up a win. And I needed a win too, because, man, he's been crapping the bed a lot lately. And you can't do that. I mean, how can you call yourself a Super Champion King if you aren't winning matches? Hell, you're not even winning titles as of late. So, it's kind of hard to go with that. But he picked up a good win against a former world champion in Nergahante. Is it Nergahante, Nergigante? Whatever it is, nerd. Crusher LB took on the South Bronx Savage, and of course, South Bronx Savage lately has been stepping up and proving that he is a force to be reckoned with, and he defeated Crusher LB, which isn't really saying a lot. I really don't see Crusher crushing too many people here and there. That's some good shit. Yeah. What? No. Turtle bought it for me because I kept taking his cup. This one's better, though. You can knock somebody out with this one. Now, the Idol Steve Sampson was scheduled to take on Sharkboy. And Sharkboy didn't show up, so the Idol went on commentary to provide an insight to matches with our announced team. So, that was the end of that there. These people who don't show up to matches, it's really getting out of hand lately. Now, Matt Blakely took on the sponsored athlete, the Essential Jayla Masters, or the Essential Sponsored Athlete, whatever he wants to call himself. And that match spilled out to the outside of the ring and resulted in a double countout. Hey, Matt Blakely really didn't want to lose. You know, for somebody who claims to be so tough, you know, I know Johnathan calls him tough, and I just say he's a little bit tough too. He's just the toughest, one of the toughest one in the Killer Goons. I mean, seriously, that guy, he loses to like low class people sometimes, though, like lower tier. You know, for somebody that should be that tough, I would expect him to be in a top 10. Kind of maybe 1 or 2 losses to some top tier people. He might want to lay off the seafood bit. I don't think he's really eating seafood. I think he's eating a bunch of burgers and pizza shit, drinking beer. It is baseball season, you know that? Putting the glizzy in his mouth. He goes the long way, too. Now, since the blueprint came back, you know, unfortunately that meant that Starling J and her mouth is back as well. And she took on Katz and Corey and picked up a win, unlike her partner, who drew a draw. Now, of course, he did escort her down to the ring and was in her corner while her match was going on. Weirdly enough, though, asshole Booker showed up and was talking to Jackson Aries about something I don't know what. You don't see him come ringside too often. But whatever it was, Blueprint seemed like he was okay with it. He was nodding his head like, alright, cool, no problem. They shook hands. Who knows what that could have been about. But hey, welcome back to the Blueprint and the Standard. We look forward to seeing more L's on your name, but hey, we'll see. Now, Captain Mexico took on the badass Eddie Vendetti. And, of course, in the most narrow match, Captain Mexico won. After Badass thought he had a pin and only got a 2 count and was arguing with the ref. And Captain Mexico took advantage of the situation and rolled him up. O'Connor roll and pinned him. Was able to pick up the pin. I think he had some tights involved in that shit, because there wasn't no way. I mean, he's badass Eddie Vendetti. There's no way anywhere he got pinned that easily. There had to be some shady shit with that. Now, in our last singles match, it was the master mouth of the South, of the North, East, and West, Sean Puff, taking on Luscious Lucius, one half of the tag team champions. And he talked a lot of shit about the tag team match. He should have probably been concentrating on his one-on-one match, because he lost to Luscious Lucius, who, in his own perspective, or right, which word do I want? I don't know. But Luscious Lucius has been on kind of a tear lately, picking up wins, singles wins, which makes me wonder, you know, you couldn't beat him one-on-one. Why do you think you're gonna beat him in a tag team match? I mean, I just asked the questions. Now, we took on the #1 contender match, and it was the Lunatic Agua Regia versus the Brass Hole. And supposed to be Lady Assassin, but she never showed up. And, of course, the Lunatic went crazy on Brass Hole's ass and picked up the win to move on to the Triple Threat Championship match. Now, in match 2, Money, MF, and Mike took on Alex Garcia and Martel the Carpenter. And then by all expectations, you would have thought Martel the Carpenter would have got pinned, but no. They knocked out Alex Garcia and started fighting over who was going to get the pin as they each tried to pin him, to the point they kind of knocked each other out. Or at least knocked each other daisy loopy, which Martel, you can't tell if he's loopy or if that's just his normal look. But they fell on top of Alex Garcia. And for a brief moment, the ref waited a second to see if one was going to come off, but neither one came off. So since they were covering him, he just counted 3. We got some dumb refs in this league. So, the booker decided instead of having a fatal 4-way for the triple threat title, he would just award Money, MF, and Mike the match this week, and then next week, Martel the Carpenter will go for the championship. I think that was fair. He just had one not too long ago anyway. I mean, he's gonna lose. Hey, come on. His favorite tool is a right angle ruler. Because it looks like an L. No, shut up, Flip. I'm funny. Now, our next number 1 contender match was to determine who would go on to face the television champion. And it was the finals of a shortened Booker tournament as David Smith took on Big Mel. And David Smith was able to pull out the win. I mean, that was actually a pretty good match. Could have went either way. But, you know, David Smith, doesn't that sound like he should be like wearing like khakis and sweater vests with polo over top of a polo? Drinking, what's that, Zima? Talking about, how you doing there? That's got to sound like the most whitest name I've ever heard in my life. David Smith. So just bland. It's like unseasoned chicken. Now, we moved on to our championship matches, and the trios champions were in action as Money, Red Death, and Hakeo Jason Shepard took on Wolf Knight, Street Fight King, and Polish Power in a bit of controversy as they kept trying to tag in Hakeo, and he wouldn't tag in. To the point where after a while, he just, like, stepped off the apron. Like, I'm done with this. And, like, literally left, which distracted Red Death, allowing Wolf Knight to pin him. Get a move on him and pin him. So now we have new trios champions in Wolf Knight, Street Fight King, and Polish Power. I got a feeling that Red Death is going to be out for Hakeo's ass sooner or later. Money, I don't think Money cared. I mean, he has a tag team title anyway, so unless he loses that, then maybe he'll care. But, I mean, Money is Money. In our next championship match, it was for the Triple Threat Championship that was vacated when Lycan Umbras had his 4th successful defense of the Triple Threat title, a feat that hasn't been done in a while here in WPA. And it was a Darkstalker versus the Kingpin, JP DiMaggio, versus my hero, the one, the only, the greatest champion in all of sports entertainment, Bobby Blaze. Unfortunately, Bobby didn't win, which is a travesty in its own right. But he didn't get pinned either. The Darkstalker did when JP DiMaggio picked him up and put him down and picked up the win. The Darkstalker's a loser. I tell you what, that guy can't win a match for shit. I don't even know how he got in this match. He should have did like Hakeo and just walked out. But the Kingpin JP DiMaggio is now your new Triple Threat champion. See, last week, last time, every time Johnathan says he sucks, that guy wins a title. I'm gonna need Johnathan to stop saying he sucks so he can lose. Now, our television championship was on the line as Donnie Boy took on the First Lady, Alexa Leslie. I feel sorry for that guy. He just won the damn thing. And the First Lady picks up the win after she had been waiting to face him. And she beat him. And she is now the new television champion. This is getting to be a theme. United States Championship was on the line when Fat Thomas, after posing a question about his weight, took on the Messiah. And the Messiah actually overcame great odds and lifted a great weight off his shoulder when he defeated Fat Thomas to become the new United States champion. And in a move that I'm still trying to figure out what the hell was he thinking, Jermaine Walker took on James Altrez after he just pinned him in a 5-way match. Gave him another shot just because he was talking shit. I swear, he's got some sensitive feelings. That mud flap, that guy, he's so sensitive. He could have just ignored him. But no, he had him a match. He wanted to hear him make a rap so bad that he had a match and offered up his world title and lost that sumbitch. Nobody saw that one coming. Well, I saw that coming. It's like when Johnathan and him went to a draw and he challenged him again and lost. Sometimes you gotta let sleeping dravens just lie. I said what I said. And that was it, folks, for the week. All new champions, except for the ones that didn't fight. So we still have our same tag champs, and we still have the same Intercontinental champion. But everybody else, it's a whole new world. It's like a WWE draft. That's just changing hands willy-nilly. In the upcoming week, we do have some title matches coming up. And once again, we have a world title shot. See that? Champ comes off a freaking vacation and decides to, hey, let's do this, buddy. You know, it's a stipulation, an option 3 type match, where if Jermaine Walker cannot defeat James Altrez, which I don't think he will do, his Money in the Bank contract will never be cashed in on James Altrez for any title he holds. If Jermaine does not win the title, he cannot, and pretend you're reading this, that's all caps, cannot cash in Money in the Bank for the entire season for the world title, and must provide Mr. Altrez's entrance music on how Jermaine can't beat James Altrez 1-on-1. I wonder how that's gonna sound. Like, you can't beat me, I can't beat you. Every time I try to, I can't beat you. Thank you. But I don't. Is he gonna win? Let's see. Well, regardless of who wins, come Backlash, they have to worry about Johnny Rocco, who's just licking his chops. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone would like James Altrez to defeat Jermaine Walker, because if they get the world title, he's not cashing it in on them. He's invoking his rematch clause. For some reason, I don't know why James Altrez, who hasn't defended the title yet, thinks he has a rematch clause. He hasn't even defended it once yet. Pretty sure you need 4 defenses in here in WPA to get a rematch clause, but that's neither here nor there. We also have the United States Championship closet match. What the hell is that? Between the Messiah and the Master Sean Puff. I'm assuming you'd have to put your opponent in such peril that you can stuff them in the closet. I'm assuming. I mean, it could mean something else. I mean, it's 2023, whatever. Float your boat. The First Lady, Alexa Leslie, will be taking on the Canadian yuppie, David Smith. And then we have the WPA Triple Threat Championship with the Kingpin, JP DiMaggio, taking on a lunatic Agua Regia versus Money MF and Mike. Oh, that's going to be a nice one. You know those two don't like each other. Luna and JP in the same ring. This ought to be good. When the Tony Fat Tits will show up. In number one contender match, we have a number one contender match for the Intercontinental Championship with the sponsored athlete Jalen Masters versus South Bronx Savage. Now, I have it on good authority that we already have scheduled an Intercontinental Championship match for Lycan Umbris, who is away taking on personal business, handling family affairs, and our prayers to you and your family. But should he not be able to show up and compete at Backlash, one of the two, whoever wins this next number one contender match, will take his place, and then when he comes back, he will get a shot upon his immediate return. Now, should he come back by Backlash, whoever wins this number one contender match will face the winner of that Intercontinental Championship match the following week. So you won't even have to wait that long. Unless you want to wait until, it's more comfortable for you. I don't know. You're scared or something. Say you're scared. Now, I think we figured out what the asshole booker was talking on the blueprint about, as we see that the blueprint is in a number one contender match versus the Idol Steve Sampson and Shepard Bain to determine who will go on for the Triple Threat title. Now, like I said previously, Martel the Carpenter has already punched his ticket to that match, so there will only be one match to determine who will be the third competitor. And then in the television championship, number one contender match, we have Draven the Sledgehammer versus Quanny Fist. That ought to be good. Watching Draven try not to get pinned by Quanny Fist. In other action, the badass Eddie Vendetti will be taking on Money. Now, can he do what his partner couldn't do and defeat one half of the tag team champs? He's still a little pissed off, but hey, it is Money. Michael Oliver Nathaniel Everett Young. Money. Money. But hey, if he picks up the win, there'd be some good momentum going into Backlash. Since his partner couldn't handle it, partner really dropped the ball on that one. Now, Red Death looks like he's going to get some revenge against KO Jason Shepard, as they will be locking up in the ring. Hey, we take care of things in the ring. Why sit there and talk about it? Be about it. Captain Mexico will take on Mac Blakely. That should be a good match. That's going to actually be a good match. I like that. We're going to have to put a star next to that one. The Dark Stalker taking on Luscious Lucius. Oh, this ought to be good. I wonder what the safety word will be on that shit. You got a guy in a mask going up against a guy with a boa. If that doesn't scream BDSM, I don't know what does. All you need is some whips and chains. Fat Thomas will be taking on Martel the Carpenter. Donnie Boy versus Nergahante. Big Mel versus my hero, Bobby Blaze. The greatest champion ever in the world. Starling J will be taking on Wolf Knight. Just bitter and upset because her man's getting a shot at something. Why women always do that? Let the man live. Be happy for him. Johnny Rocco will take on the Street Fight King, Polish Power versus Katzin Corey. The Brasso will be taking on Lady Assassin. Casper 2779 taking on Crusher LB. Super Champion King taking on Alex Garcia. And rounding out the night, the Emperor 2K Anomalium will be taking on Shark Boy. And bitches, that's all I got. Hit my fucking music. Hello, WPA. Once again, it is your honor and your privilege to hear my voice come across your screen as I divulge to you my pick of the week. This week's pick accomplished a feat and entered a realm of exclusivity that so many few have reached. This week's pick showed tenacity, even though the match he asked for was not the one he got. The stakes were raised, and normally one would tell you to always bet on black. But red won this time. I speak, of course, of our new WPA World Champion, James Altrez, who, in addition to being quite the businessman, has defeated Jermaine Walker and taken his title from him, preserving his dignity, preserving his claim that Jermaine Walker cannot defeat him one-on-one. And now will forever be able to claim that when there was something on the line, he was able to defeat Jermaine Walker. And it was probably a good thing that Jermaine Walker did not put his money in the bank contract on the line, as he would have lost it. Now, can he do it again? That remains to be seen. But should he get past Jermaine Walker, waiting in the wings is a very deadly opponent in Johnny Rocco, who grows impatient, who is foaming at the mouth, awaiting his title shot. One would venture to say that if James Altrez can defeat Jermaine Walker, Johnny Rocco should be somewhat easy. But Mr. Altrez, don't overlook Jermaine Walker and look forward to backlash. Otherwise, you should make a crucial mistake, sir. I wish you luck. There's a lot of pressure on you. And we shall see just how you handle pressure of defending that title. But that is all, folks. Until the next time, I bid you good day. I said, good day.